Welcome to my YouTube channel, guys. This is just a mini series. Well, it's not a mini series, but it's going to be a series where at the end of the day, just review the one session or the one time frame. No, not the one time frame, the one time zone, time period that I trade and that I focus on. So that is basically the beginning of the London session. So mostly London session. So my time is from 7 a.m. in the morning up until 11 a.m. So that is the time that I'm mostly going to be focusing on for trading, and basically that's then the part that I'm going to review. Try to review each afternoon. Just a quick review, and I think it will be beneficial for you, for me, and for everyone watching. And it's primarily for me actually just to get into the habit of just reviewing my trades, reviewing my day. So let's see how this goes. I'll just be doing mostly 2 to 3 pairs today, just GU and Euro USD. So let's have a look. So this is the time. I'm just going to move this box to the side. Okay, so having the Asian high. So there's our Asian high. Yeah. So I look at the Asian high. Now I look at the Asian low. So there's the Asian high, and then the Asian low is 0 as well. So there is our Asian low. So that is the Asian session that I'm looking at. And I usually base the Asian session as areas where price could sweep liquidity before going in the intended direction. So just a general view. The 1 hour, well, basically everything is rather consolidating and messy. But just looking at recent price action, we are seeing a push, a pullback, a push. So we could potentially see price taking liquidity down below, push up, or grab liquidity up above the Asian high and then push down a bit. I have done a full analysis on what I'm looking for the community that I'm with, and basically I have this area of supply over here, and basically the idea for me was that price will come back up into this area, and then we could potentially see a sell-off towards the downside. That's more longer term view, so kind of looking for buys up into that area. So that was kind of the idea, I think. Let's get just back to our session. So here we are on the 5-minute time frame. So we started off pushing towards the downside. I was looking for a long in and around this area, but with a bit of a deeper pullback. So I was looking for price to actually tap a bit lower. I think somewhere that was the one that got tapped in. Somewhere in this area is where I actually was looking for price to reach into. Can't remember exactly what, but that was the area. It didn't reach into that area, just rejected this low, the Asian low, and then started pushing towards the upside, but didn't even reach the Asian high as well. We can just call this Asian high. Didn't reach the Asian high at all, and then we started seeing this push towards the downside, and it was just messy consolidating. Then price grabbed liquidity just as my session ended that I trade, grabbed liquidity towards the downside, and then we had this big push up momentum, kind of in the what do they call it, the lunch time, when everyone have lunch and stuff, into that area. And then in New York session, just very messy. So we have a structure break over here, and then price returns to, but there's no clear area of supply for me in this area. Maybe even on the lower time frame. Yeah, basically there perhaps can be something. Yeah, maybe you can start to force things and say this was the area that respected, but honestly there was nothing clear on the 1 minute. Even the 1 minute wasn't very clear for me. Initially on the 1 minute I identified that we had this push, pullback, and then we broke this structure, so we kind of had an exhaustion, and then price pulled back into an area here, previous level of resistance. So we kind of created what most of us know as a head and shoulders. could have had a trade there, price came back up into this area, and then we saw a nice push towards the downside, and this was typically, well, this was 28 pips. I am looking for 20 pips a day on GU. That's my goal, my plan now, just to look for 20 pips. And if we take this, we mark it out, that's the box. Let's just call it box, and let's just fill it with some nice blue color. That's purple, blue, that's it. So that is 20 pips. So you can see on the 1 minute time frame how easy it is to catch 20 pips on GU. Even in this consolidation period, it was almost, it could have almost held a bit and then caught 20 pips. From that high towards this low was 20 pips. This push up was almost 20 pips. This dump was more than 20 pips. So you can see how on GU it's really easy to catch 20 pips. And if you are able to do 20 pips and you have a 5 pip stop loss, if you do a 5 pip, which is quite a lot, 5 pip stop loss, and you do 20 pips, that's a 1 to 4 easily. If you reduce your stop loss and you can get into a 3 pip stop loss, it's already 6R, and it is possible with the way I trade. So, but trying to be conservative, 5 pip stop loss, and then just aiming for that 20 pips, which then gives you that nice 4R ratio, and we can see there's quite a lot of 20 pips going around. I think that concluded, well, basically that concluded this session. There was really nothing going on here. You can see there was no ranges, no 20 pip ranges. Maybe there was something if you saw there, but there was no entry reason for me up there. Yes, like I said, I wanted to buy down here, but price didn't reach the level. Would have gotten 20 pips, but didn't reach into it. There was almost a 20 pip drop, actually a perfect 20 pip drop from this area. So this is initially where I wanted to sell, but I had a limit set. So this, I actually should have started with this. This was where my first entry was. So I identified, yes, this area of supply, like this. And you can see our price just, was it a lower time frame? Yes, it was exactly, it was the 3 minute. And then I had my limit set actually, exactly over there, stop loss. So that would have been a 3 pip stop loss, aiming for 20 pips. I would have like really just gotten it. So that was the trade idea going into New York, sorry, into the London session. That was the trade idea. That was based around Frankfurt Open. So that is GU. Let's have a look at EU. EU, yes, hindsight, obviously there was some nice trades, but we'll now discuss and see. So, just looking at the 1 hour, we can see, what do we see? We see a lot of beautiful momentum towards the downside. Nice momentum, strong momentum. So the 1 hour is bearish. So looking for sells, obviously. Then no cutting around that corner. Looking for sells. Let's go to the 15 minute. Now let's have a look at the 15 minute. So the Asian session, there was nothing really exciting about the Asian session. No real areas created for a pullback. So initially, like GU, I was looking at this area for a return. The price never returned to this area. So then when price is in momentum and we see strong momentum, then I have a different approach. Then I'll just look for continuation trades, and that in itself is a whole strategy, and you will be lucky enough to see that now. Where's the playback button? Ah, here it is. So many things going on. Okay, we have the playback button. So this is on a lower time frame. You can do it on the 1 minute, 3 minutes, whatever floats your boat. But yeah, so basically it's break of structure and then a return to an area of supply and demand. Simple, nothing confusing. I'm going to do it on the 1 minute just to really put it out there. Okay, so we have this structure break. We have then this candle that acts as our supply candle. Price returns to it. There is your entry, stop loss above the high, and we just aim for 124. So quickly reached 124, 7 pips, almost 124. And then price pushed down, and then this actually created another level of supply over there. So I was waiting for price to return to this area. Of course, again, we had a break of this low, a structure break, and now expecting price to return to this area of supply. Didn't reach that area, we pushed down, then we pulled back. So you would expect this pullback to then go up. Where is it? You would expect this pullback to go up, but it didn't. Instead, we started pushing towards the downside, and then we actually broke this low very aggressively. This in turn created a new area of supply, and you can see how price tapped into it perfectly. And again, let's do 2 pips just for the fun of it. That would have been 2 pips stop loss, targeting 4R, which would have been there, but if we target the lows, 5.8R. So those were the main setups for EU as continuation trades. Let me know if you want to see a full video explaining this in more depth, but that was then basically the extent of the session and what's happening there. But I'm going to wrap it up here, try to do it at 10 minutes or less. This is a bit more. Let me know if you like this type of videos and if you want to see more of it, and then we can do it. Have a great day.